Okay, I want you to take 1 minute and at your pod, write down the two standard form equations of a parabola and which one opens horizontally versus which one opens vertically. Identify those. So write them down and figure out which one is which.
What? That's the equation. We're kidding. Where did you take that?
Oh, probably all.
Oh, that stuff? Gross.
Yeah, this is from last year. Run out of vertical x y equals. Not with a month. Horizontal y minus k squared equals 4p x minus Okay, I get because I write like third. You didn't make better.
Okay, we have two standard form equations. We have x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. And we have y minus k, the quantity squared, equals 4p times x minus h. Okay. Emily, what direction are these parabolas going to open?
Vertical.
Okay. These are going to open vertically. We are used to the x being squared in a parabola equation. We are used to parabolas being opening up or opening down. Okay? Which means these parabolas are going to be horizontal. They're going to open left or right. That is awkward to us. Okay? Y being squared is awkward to us in a parabola. Okay? P. Guy, what does P tell us? Vertex to. Okay. So both the directrix and focus are P away from the vertex. Okay. Vertex is HK. I know that this is kind of our oddball conic because it doesn't have a center. We just have a vertex. All the other ones have centers. HK and this one is our vertex. Okay. So if we have our vertex HK and we know what P is, then we can write the equation of our parabola. Okay. We would also need to know if it opens up, down, left, or right. But we can usually determine that from the information given. Okay, so we're going to go through a series of examples where I'm going to give you information about either the vertex, the focus, the directrix, or a point on the parabola, and we are going to figure out what our equation is. Okay, so we'll start off simple. I want the equation of a parabola, and what I would write down, vertex at the origin, and a focus of 2, 0. If you don't have that information written down, you don't know why you did the work that you did, and going back to your notes would not be helpful. I would suggest plotting your information. so that you can get a visual of what is happening. And I would also label anything that you throw on your picture as V, F, C, whatever point you're plotting. So the vertex is at the origin. I'm going to label it V for vertex. And then our focus is at 2, 0. Which direction is this going to open? It's going to open to the right, isn't it? If my vertex is here and my focus is here, then we're going to open to the right. So I know that we need our y minus k squared equals 4p times x minus h. Okay, so what information do we know for this formula? Do we know hk?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
0.
Okay, so our vertex, which is hk, is 0, 0. Okay. Do we know the value of p?
Yes.
Okay, what is the value of p?
2.
Positive 2 or negative 2?
Positive.
Positive 2 because this is opening to the right. So what we have is y minus 0 squared equals 4 times 2 times x minus 0 squared. And we're not going to write it like that. Y squared equals 8x. And that's it. Not bad, right? Okay. The biggest thing is to determine which formula you need, the vertical or the horizontal one. And then from there, it's picking out H, K, and P. Okay, which is really just 2 pieces of information. Okay. All right, let's do another one. Okay. How about this one you work together at your pod doing? I'll give you 2 minutes to get the equation, you and your pod. It's almost identical to the one we just did.
I think it's going to be up and down. P equals 2. Negative. In particular. Y minus 3. X minus 2. Wait, I don't think we would have to because we just factored out. Times up.
Yes, squared. Exactly that. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, she actually did it in the locker room.
Addie M, give me 1 piece of information we know. Okay? It opens down. Okay, and because it opens down, we know that we need x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. Right? Okay, nope.
Yeah, no, she said yeah.
Oh, sorry, I heard nope. Okay. All right. Jessica, what else do we know? P is 2? Why did you change it to negative 2? Okay, so we have a parabola opening down, which means our P needs to be negative. And since the focus is 2 away from the vertex, P is negative 2. Okay, last piece of information. Kinley, what else do we know?
The vertex is 2, 3, so -2.
Okay, so our vertex we can plug in there. Please, this one wasn't bad because the X and Y are in the correct order as we like to write them. But if you ever have a horizontal opening parabola, that Y squared comes first. Please make sure you plug the X with the X and the Y with the Y. Okay. So our equation is X minus 2 squared equals negative 8 times Y minus 3. You'll have to really keep in mind when the P needs to be negative and when it needs to be positive. Okay, that's something that could be easily forgotten. Okay, another example. Excuse me. Okay, so you at least need to write down that we have a vertex of negative 2, 1 and a directrix of x equals 1. Okay, so there's our vertex, there's our directrix. Okay, if we have a vertex at negative 2, 1 and a directrix of x equals 1, I want you to think about the direction that this parabola is going to open. Monique, what direction do you think it's opening? Okay, we have to open away from our directrix, so it's going to open to the left, which means two things. We have y minus k, the quantity squared, equals 4p times x minus h, and since it's opening left as opposed to right with this standard form equation, we know that p better be negative. If p is positive, it's opening to the right. P is negative means it's opening to the left. Okay, so we do know that P, how far away is that vertex from the directrix? 3. So P is a negative 3. Here's where you need to be careful. Our vertex is at negative 2, 1. So we need x plus 2 and y minus 1. So you're going to have to punch them in a different order, okay? So that we have y minus 1, the quantity squared, equals negative 12 times the quantity x plus 2. Okay? Less intense than graphing, right? But what's nice about these problems is it solidifies all of the information that we use to actually make our graphs, so that when you go back to do your graphs, I'm hoping you have a better understanding of it, okay, by being able to work backwards like this, okay? 2 more examples. Okay, what if we had a parabola with a focus at 2, 3 and a directrix at y equals negative 3? Okay, so this is different, right? Because what did I not give you this time?
Vertex.
I did not give you the vertex. Do we have enough information to figure out the vertex?
Yes.
Yeah.
You bet. Okay. So at 2, 3, and this is why I suggest you make those little labels of V or F so you know which one is which. Okay. So we have a focus here and our directrix here. Well, right now we don't have any of the information that we need except for the fact that it opens which way? Up. We know that this is going to open up because our focus is above our directrix. Okay, so we know we need the x minus h squared equals 4p times. What has to be true about our vertex? Okay, it has to be in between those two, right? And it has to be exactly in the middle. It has to be equidistant from the focus as it is the directrix. So how far away is the focus from the directrix? It's 6 units away, which means our vertex needs to be 3 units away. So P is 3, and now our vertex we can identify as the coordinate to 0. So P is 3, our vertex is 2, 0. So we have the equation x minus 2, the quantity squared, equals 12y. One more example. Are you ready?
All right, then. Yeah, one more time.
Okay, we have a parabola with a vertex at 3, -3, and it passes through 0, 0. So 0, 0 is on the parabola. It's not anything special, it's just a point. Do we have enough information?
Yes.
Okay. Guy, which direction does this open? Guy says it opens up.
Could it also open to the left?
Could it also open to the left? Okay, so we don't actually have enough information because we could draw a parabola opening up or we could draw a parabola opening left. Okay? No. We'll specify. Just for Guy, let's assume it opens up. Okay, so if it opens up, we know we have the equation x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. Okay, and we know that our vertex is at 3, -3, so we can write x minus 3, the quantity squared, equals 4p times the quantity y plus 3. We can write that. However, we have no idea where the focus or directrix would be, so we do not know p.
It passes through points or 2D.
Well, we do not know if 2p, we don't know if that's 2p or not. We don't know if that's our nice 90-degree point. Okay, I could have given you any point. All right, but we know 0, 0 is on the parabola, which means it should satisfy our equation. Anytime you are given a point that is on a graph, you should be able to plug it in and get something that works. Okay? So what we can do is we can actually plug in our coordinate here. And now the only thing that we have to solve for is P. All right? Zero minus 3 squared. 4 times P times the quantity 0 plus 3. So P is 3/4. So when we write our equation, x minus 3 the quantity squared, 4P would be 3 times the quantity y. Right? 4 times 3/4 would give us 3. So 4P we would write as 3. Intense, you say, Max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like we're away from the